Up next on Inside ChampCar, getting ready for the VIR 24. Welcome to this episode of Inside ChampCar. I'm Brian Polanski. Got a usual cast of characters. Everybody in the boxes have been in those boxes before. Bill Strong, Chelsey Vickery in the house.
Brian, how are you, buddy?
I am tired, but I'm great.
It's been a rough week in the news business.
Oof, a rough 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. It feels like. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
It's like you look like you're gonna get a break, and boom. It's like our job, Chelsey, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
That's how it works.
Hey, go on, my desk is cleaned off, and you look over there, and there's a whole new stack of stuff.
That's because you don't do any work, Bill.
What? No, I just pull it back over, and yeah.
It's fun to pick on, Bill.
So we got the Lifeline VIR 24-hour classic coming up, the 15th edition of that at Virginia International Raceway. And that's been a long time, man. 15 years of running a race.
Yeah.
Is there a record for something like that, Brian?
I don't know.
Amateur?
It's a long
But
time.
Yeah, it is. How many years they run the Nelson 24?
Oh, I don't know. Well, that's got to be, well, it doesn't have to be, but I would think for a 24-hour amateur road race, that might be close to a record.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
yeah.
But yeah, so we're headed to VIR here in a couple of weeks, and race starts August 17th and runs until the 18th, which is what, 24 hours? That's what I'm told.
Yeah.
9 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Yep. Yeah, we changed it up a little bit this year. Get you guys home a little earlier, get a little rested for that Monday work day after sitting up all 24 hours. Because, you know, some of us do that. Right, Chelsey?
Bill does that except for his snooze.
I
take a small little...
Around 3:30, he can definitely... He either disappears or you'll catch him over there. Just
face down in the keyboard. Yeah. You know, what's all that typing on the log? Well, it's Bill's forehead stuck on the keyboard.
Those are the worst. Probably 3:30, 4 o'clock, and when the sun breaks.
Well, you know, we've been and what sucked for us before when we started the race at noon was that we'd been up since like 5.
Yeah.
To get to the, you know, do the whole, get up at 5, get downstairs at 6 for the food. And then we're headed to the track 6:30 so we can get there at, 7 or 8 so we can start getting ready for the test day and the test sessions so that we can go racing at noon and whatever it was. It was noon, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but now we've changed that up to 9. We no longer have the test day. And yeah, that's I think that's going to help everybody out because we're not going to be up we're not going to be up. And as a race team owner, you know, there's a lot of guys that are, you know, you're staying up all night. A lot of them will do the test day the previous day, so that means they have to rebuild the car for the 24. Yeah. They're up all night fixing getting everything ready for the racers the next day, and then they're up early because you can't sleep. Did I tighten that bolt? Did I, you know, are all 4 wheels actually on? You know, those type of things, the questions you have in your head at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. when you're trying to sleep the day before. So. But yeah, so Chelsey, we're going to VIR. It's probably going to be really muggy. It's probably going to be hot. It probably won't rain.
Sure it will.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, there probably won't be fog overnight.
Like all the things that we've had. I don't know. Last year we got pretty lucky.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly. Yeah.
We could see it at one point, just a little bit, and it went away. So, because there's that river right along the front straight, the Dan River.
The Dan River.
Dan River.
Or as I like to call it, the Dam River.
Dam River. They need to dam that thing up somewhere so it doesn't fog up our race.
Whenever it's fogging over my action, it's the Dam River.
Remember we did have a red flag for fog.
Oh, yeah.
It went into like the morning hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I almost killed you that night too. Remember? Yeah. I did. You know, Brian, when you're driving a racetrack and you kind of know where to turn just because you've taken so many laps there,
Uh-huh.
but you've used to doing it at speed.
Uh-huh.
But when you're doing the fog at 20 miles an hour and you turn in too early for a turn, and oh, that's the corner station.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, things like
Half
that.
asleep.
And then, yeah, you're half asleep, and some young lady in the passenger seat is yelling and screaming at you not to kill her.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was
Who
funny.
might that have been, Bill? Chelsey?
I don't know. We were doing reconnaissance laps to see if we could go racing.
Ah, yes. Clearly the answer was no.
Yeah.
The only thing that could guide us through the track was the Flagtronics panels.
Mhm.
Oh.
That was the only thing you could see out there on that track. That were the panels. So you knew where the panel was, you knew the corner was there. So that was kind of cool.
Good news, we are going to have lights and all of that set up this year. So that'll
Lights and fog. How do you think that's going to work?
right. Yeah. Fog is not going to happen. We keep our fingers crossed. But I do think that the racers will appreciate the lights that we're going to set up again. Past several years, I think we got away from that, which wasn't a fan favorite. So we're going to bring those back.
So where are the lights?
No, we got 12.
Yeah.
We're running 12 units, and
Okay.
we'll have them around the track. It's
At the main places where we know we have problems.
Right. Okay.
Part of doing this for 15 years is we kind of know where things are going to happen.
Sure.
Of course, but then we have Flagtronics to catch those ones that do get away from us.
right.
You know how Murphy works, though. Where you don't have lights is where things will happen.
Yeah. Of course, we're going to aim them at everybody's eyes because that's what you do, right, Brian?
Of course.
Yeah. So no, we'll have them set up there properly so that Jimmy's really good at setting the lights up.
Yeah.
We'll have the lights set up there so that the corner workers can see the cars,
Right.
which is a good thing. They can see the numbers on the cars and stuff like that, and people can find the track. So you can't have you should not have an excuse as to where I lost the track, and I don't know why it ended up in that field.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have lights.
Cool.
The other there's a bunch of other stuff that lost my screen there. So remember that for those folks that haven't raced with ChampCar in a long time, or a year or two, you need to go to champcar.org, go to events, and then find the VIR 24, the Lifeline VIR 24, and then download the supplementals. And on those supplementals, Chelsey, everything is needed to basically show up, and everything's there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Everything from load in, which is kind of peculiar because Track Advantage is going to do the practice day on Friday. So anybody that is doing that with Track Advantage, they can get in on Thursday evening at 6. If you aren't doing the test day, you do have to wait until Friday at 4. So there is an advantage to that, obviously, testing and just getting in early and getting set up and getting ready for the day, because 9 a.m. it's going to be a little bit earlier start. So that's a change that we mentioned, and that's going to be put in place. And then, yeah, I don't know, we're just going to roll through the weekend like we typically do, with just some minor changes that are going on.
Now, between 5, they're going to let everybody in. So everybody is not in for the test day. They're going to let them in at 4 a.m. or 4 p.m.
on Friday.
And then between 5 and 6 p.m., they'll be allowed to set up their pit lane. And then at 6, they'll lock the doors. And this is VIR, so they'll lock the gates to get on pit lane. So if you want to set your stuff up early, be there between 5 and 6 p.m. to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, also, the people that are not setting up your pit lane, if you have not been to the ChampCar driver and crew meeting, the new to ChampCar driver and crew meeting, that starts at 5 p.m. So why am I saying crew, Chelsey? What say drivers? If you've never raced in ChampCar, why am I also saying crew?
Because in the new to ChampCar meeting, we go over things like fueling, pit lane etiquette, what all of the things that you could get busted for out there on pit road, which is really important to your pit crew. So there's a lot of information there just from the flow of the day, what we expect of you as a team, what we'll be looking for, and kind of the things that can catch you up in a bind or get you in trouble. So I go through all of that, just, all of the ins and outs pretty much of how we start a race, how you come in for a fuel stop, and what is needed of you whenever you pop over that wall, driver or crew.
Right. And then tech and registration ends at 7 p.m. And we'll give you a little time to do that. And for the late arrivals, we know some guys got to travel a long way.
Yeah. And the practice day stops at 5. So, it gives a couple of hours. We don't have teams waiting for that last second to come in to get your car teched. So it's always appreciated by our tech officials that if you have any time whatsoever, even though you are doing the test day, that you can come by, get your car teched if needed, and get through. And then after tech, please go to registration and make sure that your registration is pushed through. So if you have been teched or you haven't been teched, that is the final step. If you haven't been teched, you go to registration, say, hey, I'm here, no changes on the car. They submit you through so that you get pulled over into the live timing the day after the day of the race. So that's really important. Sometimes we have teams that just kind of get in that mode of getting everything ready and they forget to go by registration and say, hey, we're here. We are going to be racing. So super important.
And
yep.
Where is all this information if people wanted to read it maybe?
In the subs.
Really? Yeah, in the supplementals. ChampCar.org.
So I'm going to digress for a moment, Chelsey. How many times throughout the course of a weekend do you say, and I'm going to quote, didn't you read the supplementals?
Yeah.
How many times?
Yeah. So all the time.
Do you all remember the easy button?
So rude. She was so rude to me. She made me read the subs.
Yeah.
Do you remember the easy button that you could get from whatever, I think it was Staples or something? I wanted to get an easy button and we get Sean Connery's voice saying, "Didn't you read the supplementals?" Oh, yeah, and just have it ready to
phone and hit it.
Just have it ready to press every time somebody would come up and ask a stupid question that could have been answered had
There's no stupid questions.
Yes,
there's only stupid people.
Every question that could have been answered by reading the supplementals is a stupid question.
Yeah, and a lot of time goes into that, and you always know who has and who hasn't.
Is this where I say I put mistakes in there on purpose?
Now that would be funny.
Right, exactly. Did you read them? Did you not?
Yeah.
So one thing I do want to say, we have some photographers and media folks that want to work with us that weekend or work for our racers that weekend. You must go to VIR's website and you must download or apply to get your media pass from Virginia International Raceway, and it may be too late to do that now, but you have to do that. I got my media pass the other day, and we're running the track, and I still have to get a media pass from those guys. I think Paulie got his as well. So you have to be pre-approved by VIR to get your credentials to get to the normal shooting positions. If you do not have those credentials, you basically
corner worker is going to radio up and say, hey, there's a guy shooting over here that doesn't have a vest and doesn't have the right stuff, and then they'll come over and get you. They being security.
Yep.
Make sure you're on the list. Bill used to be a rogue photographer that always had to, rank.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Been dragged around tracks before, so it's not.
All right, what else we got?
We got lights are required on cars, right? But it is a 24-hour, but that's a new thing with ChampCar for 2024. All cars must have lights. Sound.
6 p.m.
You need mufflers. Oh yeah, lights have to be on at 6 p.m. Why do lights have to be on at 6 p.m., Chelsey?
Because it takes us at least an hour to catch everybody that didn't turn their lights on at 6 p.m. Or if they have the wrong allotted lights that are on the front of their car, which has been a huge debacle back and forth. So if, tech comes up to you and says, hey, you aren't in compliance, you aren't in compliance. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be radioed up to the tower, and then all of the tech officials that are on the ground are going to be watching your car go down the front straight, and they're going to come to a conclusion. And if they radio up to me saying, hey, this car is not in compliance, black flag them. You're going to be black flagged, you're going to be brought in. So please take a look at our rules and regulations when it comes to lights. If you have any question about what you're running, if you're looking at it thinking, I think that'll pass, do me a favor, shoot an email over to ray.frank@champcar.org. Have him look at it. He can take it to the tech guys. There's still a couple of weeks coming that we can give you a definite answer just so that you're not in the middle of the race or that time when lights come on and you're in a predicament that's taking you away from green flag racing.
Yeah. Some guys have lost laps because of that, and they blame us, but it's in the rule book.
Yep.
And the team needs to do that. And I've had some rental drivers get really upset, but you know,
and it never fails. There seems to be always someone. Hopefully it's calmed down a lot in the past 4 years, I'd say, but there always seems to be that one kind of, I interpreted this way when really it's this way. So
it's not just headlights, it's also brake lights too.
Yes,
exactly. Running lights.
Mm-hmm. Brake lights and running lights.
So Bill, was it your rental driver who was upset with you as the owner, or is it rental drivers who come up upset with ChampCar? Because they should be upset with the
not
owner.
Me. My lights blinded everybody, so they were good. You laugh. Ask the internet.
No, I've heard stories, and I could just imagine being like dealing with that crowd.
Yeah, well.
And they were incorrect. This was back in the day when most guys were running just regular incandescent lights, like the 55 watt racing lights or whatever, and we were running HIDs in housings they weren't really designed for, like pencil beams. Yeah, they were really good.
Bill shows up with a freight train headlight on the front of his car.
Yeah, we had a car do that. We've had a couple of cars do that over the years. That's kind of why we had to put the lighting rule into effect.
Yeah.
But yeah, so lights working, and then we have the of course every race track damage fees do apply to the team. Back to your question there, it wasn't about the rental drivers. We've had rental drivers come up to us complaining about our rules, saying that we were doing really well, and we were in 4th place in C class and we were going to win this race, but your lighting rules made me lose the position. And so
blame your owner.
All kinds of like that. Well, build a car that's,
right.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Or ask in tech on Friday. If you have any kind of question about it, it's just a good time. You have the night to fix it if needed. So there's multiple opportunities from now until the green flag and golden lights come on to fix the issue. So hopefully if you're listening, please do so.
And there's an auto zone in Danville on your way out of, on the main road into Danville. So I think it's on the right. And you can they sell headlights. They sell all kinds of cool stuff in there. All right. So track damage fees apply just like at all tracks. So you hit something, you got to pay for it. We send the bill directly to the team captain. We won't send it to the racers. Easier to find the team captain because I have his phone number and his email address and all within our system. And that goes into the why did you hit something? So lack of car control and contact will be penalized. Yeah. So car control. So we've had in the past some issues with, it rains. It does.
Clearing up vegetation, cutting corners.
And what is VIR's color codes there? Everything's green, right?
Yeah.
Everything. The grass, except for the tarmac. So the black stuff you drive on, can I drive on the green stuff because we rented it, Chelsey?
No. So that, it goes into if you decide you're going to cut a corner, which we don't, like 2 wheels off. It's like, are they going to do something about that? Well, if you have multiple laps where you're cutting a corner thinking you're gaining, an advantage, or if you are, that's not going to fly. It's not going to be acceptable. We're looking for anything that is tearing up the track, which is the vegetation. We don't want to leave the track, any track really. It's not just VIR. It's anywhere we go. We want to show respect and show that we are capable of wheel-to-wheel racing without just complete destruction of the facility. Because they don't have to invite us back at the end of the day. So it's just super important. It's good etiquette to learn at this level of racing. Obviously things happen, right? So we do have some discretion. Like, hey, I was out in the vegetation because I was missing this stall car that was counter in mid corner, right? Of course, I don't want you to just broadside somebody because you're scared of going out on the grass, right? So there are different things. I don't want you to think that it's just going to be every little thing, but are we going to be strict on it? Absolutely. If it's just blatant, you have multiple spins, or you go off because you were solo and lost control, there's going to be implications to that happen. So yeah, we have different rulings. VIR this year is going to be strict. I'll just throw that out there now. I know there's a lot of opinions about it, but like I said, we do use our discretion. We do talk to the corner worker of, hey, what exactly is happening. We have flagtronics as well, to show, if you are in a group of people or if you're solo, which really, doesn't matter, because you should maintain racing room on the racing surface like our rules state, and be heads up and make good decisions and clean passes. So
yeah,
there should be absolutely no passing on the grass.
Yep.
We've seen that. So, anything like that is going to be.
I talked to our CEO this morning about this, and I asked him, I said, should we talk about, is that okay if we talk about the past? He said, yeah, go ahead. Because we really haven't, everybody knows about why we can't go back to Barber, but we've never officially said anything. I mean, some people on the board may have said something, but officially,
right,
they just asked us not to come back because we tore it up.
We tore up the track.
Yeah.
And we do not want that happening again anywhere. And even if where did we go recently where we were talking to the track and we said, yeah, we don't allow 4-offs anymore. And they just were shocked. It's like, well, really? We really like that. That's good. You're not tearing up our facility. And,
right.
But it was a track that really never really, they didn't call that stuff in. They didn't slap your hand or whatever. But they were happy about it. And,
anytime we bring that up in the tower, they're happy about it. And they always ask, what about 2-offs? What about 4-offs? So yeah, we are strict on 4-offs because obviously it does more damage. And especially if it's raining, if it starts raining and we just have loss of control of the field, pace car is going to come out and we're going to bring cars in.
Yeah.
It's not worth it to jeopardize a date at a track. So, we have 3 dates at VIR and I would hate to lose that. So it's just important. And like I said before, we'll use our best judgment and see how the field is behaving and reacting. So Mike Chiswick is going to be there.
Yep.
I haven't had a big come to Jesus moment yet, but I know he'd have my back if I needed him. Yeah.
So there's one spot in particular that is often the place. We all know where it is. And it's just where the car likes to go.
Is that 4, 5, 6, 7 combo up there?
No. It's the exit of Oak Tree. That is.
Well, that's all out there.
What it is, but it isn't. It is till it isn't.
Right.
And that's a spot where it's just that's where your car likes to go. And on a 24-hour race, it doesn't really need to go out there. You're not gaining that much.
I think if somebody tries to take it too hard through there, they're going out that way.
Right.
And yeah, they're probably going to get penalized for going out there.
Yeah. So
yeah, keep it on track. So we're going to have something new, and we're still working out the details on it. So it's 90%. We're going to do it with we're going to put tires on every corner, right? Big tractor tires sitting on the corner. Wasn't that right, Chelsey? Or is it? It's not, I forget.
I'm staying off the internet.
We're gonna put some signage up on track that basically says "Don't hit us." It's not gonna say "Don't hit." It's gonna have our sponsors on it, but basically in the troubled corners. But if you hit those signs, it's gonna cost you. So,
yeah. So just talking with the track, that's one of their suggestions that they brought up, and we talked about it, Mike, Bill, and I. And thought we'd give it a shot. So yeah, we're gonna get some sponsors on on some panels. I don't know exactly, like we're still
Still
working on the details, but obviously nothing that's gonna tear up a car or anything like that. But there's signage all the time if you watch TV and
Sure.
professional racing. So and hopefully encourage everybody to keep it on the racing surface, which is the biggest objective of this whole discussion.
John Wittenauer just said something awesome. Hay bales. Why don't we put hay bales everywhere? No, because where were we? We did hay bale. Oh, Auto Club. When remember Auto Club? You were there that weekend. We had cars come through where they couldn't make the inside field corner, and so they just hit the hay bales, and basically they overheated their cars pretty quick because those hay bales just stuck all through the radiator.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. That was well, except if you hit a hay bale.
You have a sick sense of fun, Bill.
Oh, we had to clean it up that evening. That sucked. But yeah. So all right. So don't hit shit stuff on track. That's a big thing. Flagtronics and transponders. So somebody asked me about any word on new firmware for the Flagtronics. I don't know because Ballinger, they had the WRL race this weekend at Road Atlanta. So they were down there running that. We've got some changes that we're probably going to be doing at VIR on our side of it due to that race. They've learned a few things. So to make it more reliable. I did check with our guy that helps me with the technology for marching ants. We don't have that yet working with the driver ID. Hopefully, we still have a couple of weeks, so who knows? But hopefully soon, it may not be VIR 24 because we had talked about that last weekend. I think it was last weekend about the driver ID. But hopefully we'll have a facility in there to show who's in your car or something on the show to show you where your car is and who's in the car. So,
and if you want
if there's any updates, Bill, get those to me and I can get them in that final send out, which will go out the Friday before the race weekend.
Yeah.
So.
And if
driver ID is not required. We want to stress that over and over again. But for those that want to do it, ChampCar will be participating. It's just getting the technology to work is, it's easy for you to do it. Now we have to be able to take that information and post it in a way that you guys can view it.
Right.
So we're still working on that side of it.
And for those who have no idea what we're talking about, we just did a great podcast last week or the week before with the Flagtronics folks, and all of this is explained in there in like ad nauseum. So go click on that one, and you can get all the insides and outsides on that. So,
and I want to, we're going to take a little break here for a second. This race is being sponsored by Lifeline Champions of Safety. They are a Virginia company. They supply a lot of different fire systems from really, really expensive FIA certified ones for open wheel Formula One cars, all the way down to, cars like us. So they have all the fire systems. They've also got apparel, hats and stuff like that. But the really cool part is they have seatbelts, man. Have you seen the Lifeline seatbelts?
No.
They're like butter smooth. They have an endurance belt that's just insanely good. I've used them in a couple of cars that I've raced in as an arrive and drive, and they equal, I would say they're better because they don't cost as much as that super pro level belt that everybody was getting a few years ago. That was like $700 for the belt, $800 for the belt. And it's super easy to get in and out of it. When you go to get out, it just comes right out. Loosen up, unbuckle the belt, get out of the car. Next guy gets in, he just pulls it down, tightens it up, stays tight, the whole bit. So take a look at their seat belts they have. The Cops is a really cool 6-point FIA harness. FIA means it's going to last longer too for your certifications. Pay a little bit more for it, but they're worth it in the end, especially if you hit something. Trust me, I hit something, and those belts are worth it. All right, they do all kinds of other things, parts and bits. And remember, you need to have your fire suppression system inspected every couple of years, and make sure you check your dates. Check them now before you arrive to VIR, because when tech finds out your stuff's expired, it kind of sucks. So, because that could keep you from racing, especially at this track, because this track is fast. This track it's things can happen, and we want you to be safe out there. All right, enough of that. LifelineUSA.com. All right, now we've gone through the schedule, race gates open at 6. Well, it's 24-hour gates there. So, but we arrive at 6 a.m. at the track to start setting up stuff. So folks that have missed the tech and registration process, they can line up at 6 a.m. and Sue will be there to start that process. Driver and crew meeting is outside the tech shed at 7:30. We're doing it a little early to help you guys. We know it's a late.
I have a little bit of time instead of coming from the meeting, going straight to the car, just having that kind of hurry aspect of it. We want you to take your time, be comfortable, get your driver in and ready, just make sure everything's right and secure to start off the 24.
Chelsey, do you want everybody there, or can you just send a team representative?
I would love everybody to be there.
And you know why? You're going to want everybody there for a reason. And we're not going to say anything more, but it is a required drivers meeting. You have to be there. If you're not there, you will not get on track. Let's just say that. Is that the easiest way to say it?
Perfect.
Yeah, there you go. All right, make sure you go to the drivers meeting. If you go to the subs, you'll also have a QR code for the race logs. So if you have any issues on track, or other people have issues on track, or you want to know why we're at code 35 or code yellow or whatever, that will be updated by the race director in the logs. There's a QR code there you can click on. Also gives the Flagtronics version, which right now stands at 0.7.014. We'd just like to have everybody on that version, if you could, please. If you have problems uploading, I will kindly show you how to do it and assist you at setting up your Flagtronics. Flagtronics will also be on site because one of their guys is racing with us. Mm-hmm. So he'll be racing this weekend. Alaric will be there that weekend, and he'll be able to help as needed. All right. Of course, you want to call him when he's leading the race, right?
Of course. Of course.
So lots of page 2 and 3 are going to have all the information. And as of this year, we've decided to basically go through our contracts with the tracks and put everything in there. And VIR had a lot of stuff in there that we just didn't post up in the past. So it is now in there. There's so much. It was about RVs and electricity, Chelsey, at the gate. You got to pay, right?
Yeah.
Just yes.
In there. Yeah.
Okay.
Pay at the gate.
Pay at the gate. Let them know. They'll
pretty
get
simple.
Your tag and everything that you need so that you can have your weekend electricity. There should be a phone number in there as well.
Yep. Right there. Whole bunch of them, a couple of them actually, for the premium RV spots. And then, of course, being that VIR is close to the Dan River, like within throwing distance, any oils, antifreeze, anything like that, please do not just empty into the ground or, spill it or whatever. Just they have safety clean waste drums. They're up at the old staging area. What does SCCA call the staging area?
Grid.
Grid. Yes, the old grid, which is the entrance to... The old grid is where the
it's
is.
not.
Chelsea's?
By the way, it's not just the SCCA.
Oh, whoever.
IMSA calls it that. NASCAR, IndyCar.
We grid
I'm guessing
on pit lane.
WRL, maybe even.
We grid on pit lane.
Okay.
That fancy stuff. Everybody lining up.
It's not fancy.
I'm in fourth. And of course, no drones at the track. That's everywhere. Oh, on-site shop supplies. TMI will be there. They have their race shop hours open. Bruce Ferenzi, new guy there. He or Frenzel, he will be there, and they will be open, and they have a full stock shop. So if you need any race stuff, they're open for you, and we'll go visit them and do a little recording.
So there's some cryptic questions in the chat, Bill.
Are there? Let me
John
look.
Wittenauer just says helmet stickers, ...
I have them. They're $1 each.
Okay.
You buy those at registration.
Team Infinity one-piece suits? Question mark. Is that?
Why do people ask those questions? They don't.
Are they
so
trolling
this
us?
is what we have here. I just saw that. Fire suits. Per the BCCR, drivers of track-prepared cars must wear a fire suit. A track-prepared car is defined as a vehicle in which the cockpit has been altered or modified in any way that any part of the chassis of the firewall has been exposed. So, what do you think, Chelsey? Just a fire suit, guys.
So there's no indication whether it's a one-piece or a two-piece.
It is better to wear a two-piece in road racing, mainly because if you do get in trouble and they have to cut the roof off, when they pull you out, they want to pull you up by the epileps. If they pull you out by your epileps, or you're in a fire and they have to pull you and your whole jacket just comes off of you.
You just said
You just said it backwards.
A one piece is better. And VIR has stipulations of it. It needs to be a one-piece suit.
So there you go.
Okay.
I meant
long answer short.
One-piece suits are required.
One-piece suit are required.
Yeah. I think they had some experiences there.
Got it.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Also on the subs, we list out what everything's going to cost you. So don't hit nothing because the list is pretty extensive. Don't run over the tow strap. Chelsey, how do you tow a car? Or how do you get towed?
Don't run over the tow strap. Ride the brake.
How about just don't get towed?
Right.
That's a good start.
There. And if you happen to get towed, just keep the strap tight by riding the brake. Just a little bit. That's all it takes.
There you go.
Even when they stop and you let go of the brake, if you find yourself rolling forward at a distance, chances are it could be. We see that sometimes too. So.
Yeah, John Whitnow, helmet stickers were used in relation to the driver's meeting. Yeah, we already have a plan with something we've done in the past, and it worked really well. So that's all we're going to say. But yeah, John, we've already sorted out. All right. Of course, you have the. Somebody asked me that when I put the driver. For years ago, I put a driver stint schedule on the SUPs. I had a bunch of blank space there, so I thought I'd fill it up with just to give you an area where you could write down your stints. Guy emailed me, is that mandatory? Do I have to tell you where we're writing? No, that's just for you guys. Also on there, we have the past winners, and you see Pinky's Out has won like 20 in a row. Simon Says run about 5 in a row. And it was some pretty big winners on there. And Rockwell won last year, and Rockwell's bringing 3 or 4 cars this year too. Mm-hmm. So they want to win this thing again. And then, of course, the maps. We have the track maps, and then we have the paddock map. The paddock map is really important. VIR does have one-ways, and if you're going the wrong way down a one-way road, they get really angry with you. And they have a lot of folks in little golf carts out there that will, go up there and slap your hand. And you don't want that to happen. So please follow the rules there. And also the entrance and exit to the false grid. That's what I was thinking, a false grid.
Ah, yes.
False grid. So, and you can see on the map there where the safety clean is. There's also restrooms and showers up there, along with the ones in the main pagoda where the grill is and fuel. There's also another one over by the fuel stand. So, so that's where you empty your stuff out. But look at the way, if you haven't been to VIR in a couple of years, they've changed everything on you. So they can't, they've changed the way you enter pit lane and the way you exit pit lane. So make sure you just review that. And then, we've got a big race coming up. Let me see. There were some other things I wanted to touch on. And I lost my links. Where is it? Oh, here we go. All right. The importance of preparation and planning for surviving the VIR 24. Brian, we've talked about this in the past.
Extensively.
This isn't just any race. This is a race that goes on for 24 hours. And this will test you, your car, your drivers, your crew, hell, even your jack, just going up and down so much, or your fuel system, or just everything. Now, the one thing that we have seen in the past, and we talk about this every year, is the heat. The heat, the weather, humidity, and everything, and it will wear you out.
August in Virginia. How hot can it get, Bill?
It can get really hot. I live here.
I know. I used to live there too.
What pops into my head is Daytona this year.
Yeah.
You know, we started the 14-hour, and just that first, few hours, it was just back to back code 35s, yellow flags.
Yep.
And then a lot of people were angry about it, you know, and it all really was due to mechanicals. Either people just, I don't know, they weren't prepared, or what was going on there, but it was way too many to count. So I really hope there's more preparation going into the 24, obviously. So yeah, I would just want to avoid anything like that.
And I think not having a practice day the day of the race is going to help.
Yeah.
I think, you know, it's people just, you know, sometimes I'm going to get that last lap in, I'm going to set FTD or whatever, and then they just totally screw the car up. And then you've got to prepare a car with over a couple hours before a race starts, and we've seen it, you know, where guys just get on track and their car's smoking like crazy, tire rubs everywhere. And
right.
Just spend your time, make sure you nut your car, check everything, torque everything down, because it will shake loose somehow or another at 2 a.m. Have those spares in your pit lane, in your pit box. You know, you can repair your car on pit lane. You have like half an hour to get stuff fixed on it. But have those spare light bulbs taped to the toolbox. Have the tools you need to change a tire right there, which is a jack stand and the jack, and hand tools and everything required. You know, the torque wrenches, and have all that in your pit lane. I've seen guys come in and they don't even have a set of cutters or duct tape. I mean, have a ratcheting strap tie down, you know, the tie down straps. Have those little, you know, the little motorcycle ones. That'll hold down a hood. You know, your hood latch goes bad. That'll hold down a hood. That'll hold up a splitter. We had a guy at the MR2 a couple of weeks ago at Nelson Ledges. They held up their splitter with a couple of ratcheting straps.
Sure, Ray loved that.
Yeah. And, well, yeah, it's better than leaving it on the track somewhere. You know, have a drill with a couple of, half-inch drill bits that you can just drill some big holes and make things happen. Just have everything there in your pit lane.
Be prepared.
Yeah, be prepared. Duct tape, lots of duct tape. Duct tape's always good, but not on a wet car. Duct tape doesn't really work well on a wet car, but that's where those tie down straps come in handy. All right. So preparation and surviving the 24, feed yourself, feed your crew. If you notice your guy making mistakes in the car, his lap times have come down a lot, and he can't explain why his lap times have come down a lot. You might want to bring him in. He may be having some issues, heat related, even carbon monoxide related, because that can happen in these cars.
And don't discount heat problems in the middle of the night, you know, because what'll happen is you're going to say, it's the middle of the night, it's not that hot out. Well, all of what you've done leading up to getting to the middle of the night is all piled on top of each other. So if you did a stint at 3 p.m. when it was 97 degrees out, and then you just did another stint at 7 p.m. and it was 90 degrees out, and that's all going to add fatigue. It's all going to dehydrate you as you're going through the day. Now you get in a car at midnight, it's not so hot out, but you are still completely dumbass, like dehydrated, because you didn't drink anything. It's going to be fine. I don't want to have to pee. Yeah, well, you know what? Drink. And I'm talking about water or Gatorade or some other kind of electrolyte stuff, and because that's where you get caught out, is in the middle of the night when you think everything's going to be fine because it's not so hot. Maybe you don't put your cool suit on. Dumb, very, very dumb. You know how I know these things? Ask me how I know these things.
Yeah. Well, the big thing about the hydration part is that as the car, I ran the car. I was, and I've told you guys have probably heard this 100 times already, but. You know, I think it's a good lesson, especially for new teams, is I was making really bad mistakes at 2 a.m.
Yep.
I was out on the car. I'm going up through the S's thinking about work. And, you know, I'm on the back straight. I'm like, what am I doing? I go braking into Oak Tree, and I make the corner, and I'm back on the back straight. I go through the gears in the MR2, and I look up. I look up and I'm thinking about work again,
Right.
websites, and what I'm going to do for some of the marketing stuff for the University of Virginia.
It's because you're so
And
diligent.
I did this for 2 or 3 laps,
Right.
and then I remember just coming down, and it started raining, and I just didn't react quick enough,
Yep.
and I'm off out in the field, and then dummy me again, not making clear decisions, decide I'm going to rejoin the race. I'm going to join it right here. And the car just whipped down and went right into the wall. I missed a Mustang by millimeters, T-boning him, and ended up crashing really bad. So when you find yourself thinking about things that aren't racing or just making small mistakes, let your team know. Be a man about it. Just come in. We'd rather you guys lose a position or two than to lose your driver in your car.
Yep.
So
And
be safe out
two other things on hydration, and then I will tell people we've got a podcast that we did in the past on this exact whole topic. The whole podcast was on this. We'll put a link on that. Bill will put. I'm telling Bill that Bill's going to put a link on that in the show notes for this episode. But two more quick things. You start hydrating on like Tuesday. Don't think I'm going to start hydrating Saturday morning. You have to be hydrating all week long, and because if you start hydrating, 6 hours into the race, it's not going to help you. It's just not going to help you. So, yeah, start
Beer is not
hydrating during the week.
hydration, by the way.
What's that?
Beer is not a hydrator.
Correct. No question on that. So,
All right, Chelsey, let's get into the important stuff.
uh-oh. I thought this was wait a second. What was the last 47 minutes? I thought that was important stuff.
Code 35's yellows and green flag racing. So tell me about VIR. Do they do hot pulls?
No. So it's just a code 35 track. So regardless of if there's any mechanicals or incidents, it's going to be a code 35 every time.
Right.
Now, will we pull out the pace car if needed? I mean, just to stir it up a bit, or what do you plan on doing? It's up to you. It's up to Jackie, whoever, Andy, who's ever running race control.
It just depends on if we put the safety car out.
Okay.
Just depends on how it goes.
Who knows?
If people are prepared and everything seems to be going great, or if people are making a lot of mistakes and I'm not happy with the driving, or the other race directors, Jackie and Andy, they will be there and we will be taking shifts. So it's up to their discretion, and I trust them both to make the right calls. So if it comes down to it and we feel the need to put the safety car out, there's a potential.
All right. So code 35s, those could go on for a little bit. Plan your pit stops accordingly. That's always a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
The guys get caught out on that. Well, what sucks about VIR is the code 35 or yellow comes out as they're coming down the front straightaway. Now they have to do a whole, so that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. So green flag. Oh, the yellows. So we had a couple of incidents at Nelson Ledges under yellow, full course yellow, speeding. Tell us a little about that and what your corrective actions are, or what your expectations are for yellow flag racing.
Like a local yellow? Or
Yeah.
what
Just a full course yellow.
A full course yellow?
Yeah, just say we go full course yellow. We can get somebody out. We don't need to go code 35. We can get them out quick. So
If we go full course yellow at VIR, we're going to put the safety car out. So, but if it's, if we have just a local yellow that's being covered by a corner station.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that what we're talking about?
Sure. We'll talk about that one.
Or do you want me to go in depth of a full course yellow?
Just do both, because we may have we have a lot of new folks that may be racing with us this weekend, and we may do it differently than what, let's say, Farah does, or WRL, or IMSA, or whoever.
If we decide to put the safety car out, you'll see the double yellows in the flag stands. And safety will call around the leader and release safety car in front of the leader. So if you are the leader at that point, make sure that you give a little bit the adequate room for them to pop out. They don't want to be racing you, but they will. So please just be aware. Safety car will pack up the field, which is the whole objective of putting a safety car out, is to pack up the field. So if there isn't a car in front of you, or the safety car is not in front of you, you are the problem. You are the second pace car, which is what we do not want to see. When I say second pace car, it's just another line formed somewhere around the track. So essentially, we have these multiple packs going on. It's extremely frustrating. So if you have a line of cars behind you, double yellows come out. Just catch up to the field.
So
That's
so
again.
on a code 35, you don't put out double yellows, right?
No, we so code 35 will go single yellow.
Got it.
We'll hold that for about 15 to 20 seconds and then switch to the code 35 flag. So a single yellow, just like a local, drop that speed down to 70% racing speed, and then we'll hold it, and then it should just be a swift change to the 35 miles an hour. So 70% racing speed down into 35 miles per hour. And then we work it back up the same way with a single yellow.
So
Bringing that speed back up.
the magic is the double yellow. If you see a double yellow and you don't see a car in front of you, then find a car and make sure it's in front of you. That may be the pace car.
But do it safely.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, no,
don't speed through
do it
the
safely.
incident. Obviously, when there's safeties out on track, boots on the ground, especially, or just even around an incident, it doesn't matter. Just show caution, show respect. You know, a lot of under a code 35, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be passing you. So the safety vehicles,
Right.
and just give them enough room to do what they need to do and get past you safely.
And for those folks that haven't raced with us in a while or raced with Flagtronics, we can monitor your code 35 speeds. We do monitor those actually, and we log them. We just don't make it up. We don't look at it and go, well, he's kind of doing 45 now. No, it's actually recorded by the system. We copy and paste that into the log so you can see how fast you were going, what zone you were going, what exact time you did it at.
Right.
All that.
So that's definitely something we're going to be looking at. I know we looked at it at Nelson. I had a meeting with Jackie and Andy to kind of just go over that race so that we're all on the same page and we're all up to speed on, some of the things that have happened. And yeah, that's going to be something that we look at, especially even if there's just a local yellow,
Right.
and you're coming through, maybe there's a car, either, if it's waving on track or off track, single, just standing, it still matters that you are coming through that safely. And then when we do put safety out on track and they are at the scene, your speeds coming through that incident, they need to be at a reasonable speed.
And we monitor all that too. So
100%.
I think we didn't talk about in the past, but now that we know how it works and we know how to police it, we are doing it. And we just don't want any incidences, somebody losing control and hitting a safety truck or worse, hitting a safety worker. So we do not want that. And that's another way not to get invited back to a track. So,
Well,
or this club.
People need to understand all of what we've talked about, almost everything that we've talked about tonight. There's a reason for it. And the reason is that let's say there's going to be 1,500 people at the racetrack this weekend between drivers and crews and track workers and everything. The goal is if there's 1,500 people who are there on Saturday morning, that on Sunday afternoon, 1,500 people are going to go home. And hopefully all of them are going to go home with their race cars in one piece in a trailer. That's what all these rules are about. It's not because we're trying to be mean or anything like that. It's we're trying to be safe.
Yeah. That's one thing I always say in my meetings. That's the objective is to get you home the way that you came, and preferably your car home the way that you came. There's a lot of money in what we're doing, even though it's amateur racing. Racing's not cheap at any level anymore. So, I just encourage everybody to be heads up and show each other respect and do to others what you would want done to you. So,
yeah, yep. No bump drafting either. That's a big one.
No, yeah,
because they do that at VIR on that back straight. So we'll have cameras back there to watch the race, so we'll be able to see some stuff. And don't do that.
Yep.
That's how people get hurt at this track, especially with the new configuration they have going into roller coaster. Is that the braking zone for roller coaster? So we've seen some pretty big incidents up there since they put the new fences there. But we don't want you guys having to help you load your car onto the trailer because you can't roll it in. So all right. Yeah. All right. So 5 minutes left. Any words of wisdom there, Chelsey, with the upcoming races? Because we have a couple races coming up. We have, of course, VIR 24, which we're talking about now. Thompson 12-hour. We still have some vacant paddocks or pit stalls for that one.
Yeah.
So,
if you're interested, yeah, Tom. I know it's back-to-back weekends, but that is the weekend directly after the 24 Thompson 12-hour up in Connecticut, and then after that we're going to Mid-Ohio.
there's a wait list on that one. That one is sold out in half.
It was pretty fast. So, yeah, that's the first week of September, second week of September.
So, Bill, do you find that the Thompson, the day after the 24, when people realize that their cars can make it to Thompson, get signed up right after that?
Yeah,
a few more will pop in there.
Yeah, that's kind of what we've seen over the years. It does happen. I mean, 5 or 6 cars, so we'll get some more there.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, and then the other part is, you got to get home and get your car ready, but we've had teams do it. So we also have Mid-Ohio, Harris Hills coming up right after that, Texas. That is another track that I really want people to race at. And there's some tracks that I get to go to, and Chelsey's been there as well, that it's mostly locals that go there. This is in Austin, Texas, south of Austin. It's actually San Marcos, Texas. Right, 15 minutes from Austin.
Yeah, it's in between San Antonio and Austin, yes.
And it is a absolutely wonderful track. It's fast. It's, it really will test you because it is really fast. And it's just a fun track to race at. And the people there are amazing. And I want to say it's some of the best food in racing.
Barbecue. I was just going to say, if you need any incentive, just think barbecue.
No. Tacos.
Well, there's that too. Well, you got to eat more than one night.
Mrs. Garcia.
That's normally what we do. Barbecue and tacos.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Oh, yeah, it is. I forgot about the barbecue there. Yeah.
How can you forget about the barbecue in Austin?
Hayes Barbecue. I do love that place.
Franklin?
And then, and then the Garcias at the track there, they have made some great food.
Awesome.
So, but the racing's awesome too. So, and the people there are absolutely fun to be around. So,
great.
So, and then we get ready to go to Pittsburgh International Raceway, and that one's heating up. We're coming up on the pay August 6th.
August 6th, yeah.
August 6th is the early pay for that. So, you should get an email this week about that one. That goes out to all members. I'm sending out emails now to all members to let them know of early pay discounts. So get your team ready, get them together, and go to Pittsburgh because that's another awesome track. And then Road America, Chelsey, that's another one of your races. You're there this weekend with IMSA, right?
Yeah.
With the Mustang Challenge. So, so we head there for the Land Jaeger Cup, and that's going to be a fun one in October. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it. I have prior commitment. My son's getting married, so
son is getting married. It's super important.
Yeah. So
how could he plan his wedding on a race weekend?
Right? How dare him?
How dare he? No, I'm just kidding.
Amy would definitely make Bill go missing. If he missed that one. Every right.
That would be the last race we ever saw Bill at.
Exactly.
Why is he in a full body cast? Well,
well, congratulations to the boy.
Yeah. Ian and Ashley.
There you go.
So, all right. So I think that's it.
I think we're good.
Next week we'll be back. We'll see if we can get some racers on here that have raced the 24 and maybe give their insight. I'm looking for a guest for next week. If you've been to the VIR 24 or done any more of our 24s and have a lot of experience doing it, I'd love to have you on the show. So pop me an email at bill.strong@champcar.org. And we're going to start up the Code 35 videos. Remember how Chiswick would do the red flag videos and Dana would do some sort of Coast Guard video? I don't know what it was. What was it? I forget what it's called. But, so I'm going to bring back a Code 35 video where we're going to give you updates. Going to be quick ones on YouTube on this channel. Just updates. Chelsey will join me every now and then and give her feedback. And yes, you will. Give some feedback. And you just sit there, just your wave. But yeah, we're just try to pass on more information from ChampCar to the members. So
Nice.
there we are. Back at you there, Brian.
All right. Before I do all of the niceties at the end, if you haven't done it already, smash the like button, subscribe, hit the whole bell thing so you know we're on. Do all of that. We would love to have those likes, so we appreciate that. All right, so that's going to do it for another episode of Inside ChampCar. If you like what you hear, subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss any episodes. It'd be great if you share it on your social media channels. Comment on the ChampCar Facebook page. Good comments. Bad ones directly to Bill's page. He is Bill Strong. I am Brian Belansky. That is Chelsey Vickers. New episodes every week. You are listening to the Racing Wire Podcast Network and watching ChampCar live on the YouTube. See you all next time, everybody.
Thanks, Chelsey. Thanks, Brian.